Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif. And no Baka.
Yep, no Baka this
Oh,
week.
no Baka.
Hem's working. Sucks to be an adult sometimes.
Damn
Yes,
jobs.
So they didn't
He's
take our
working,
jobs.
But it's okay, guys, because I've had enough caffeine to be 2 people right now.
She's
Yes,
had enough caffeine
yes,
to be
she has.
4 if she really wanted to be.
True that. And actually, she can act like a 4-year-old with the amount of caffeine she's had as well. So, see?
I had coffee that I used coffee as creamer for, and now I'm having a Mountain Dew.
Oh boy. Oh
That
boy, this is gonna be
sounds like
fun.
a genius idea right there.
Like, all back-to-back, too. So if I have to take, 30 AFK breaks during the show, it will be because I need to run around the house outside for, a minute before I
I'm
can come and
sending
sit
her
back
your
down.
way after the show, Oak.
Oh, no, my fault. I told her to
I
get no thing
don't
coffee.
care. I'm sending her over.
Okay, send it over. She'll run.
Apologies.
She'll run the whole way.
you have kids, right? Just set them all out in the yard and let them run around for a little while.
Perfect.
Well, if you have to listen to parts of the show on slow-mo to understand what I'm saying, I apologize now, but I can't stop myself. So, let's do this. What have you guys been playing this week?
Video games.
Da-da-da. That was your fault. You forgot, caffeine girl.
Yep,
I
you
know.
forgot. You walked into that one. I was waiting
Yep.
for it. Told you I
It's
was going
okay.
to wait for it.
I'll just punish you by having more coffee after the show.
I need noise-canceling headphones.
Too
What
funny.
games have you been playing? I hate you all.
Played some PUBg. Played more Dark Souls. Made it pretty far, or making it pretty far. It's difficult for sure. I've ran into a couple of bosses that just whoop my ass
Dark
over and over
Souls
again.
is difficult? No.
Yes, but
I'm so surprised right now that
Yes,
Dark
yes,
Souls is so difficult there, chicken.
but it's fun. Like that gameplay is just fun. Forcing to learn and whatnot. Like I got a badass new weapon that lets me do a spin slash and its combos and whatnot. It almost feels like a fighting game at this point.
It kind of is, though. It's like a hack and slash.
Yeah, but this guy is very athletic compared to all the other weapons. Like the other ones was like, ha, smash. This one's like spin on the ground, do jumpy flips and slam, and it's pretty fun.
Okay.
I played PUBg with Baka, Red, and Newbie, and myself, and we did 4-man. And first time we dropped, I chose, we got wrecked. Second time we dropped, Newbie chose, we got wrecked. Third time we dropped, Baka chose, and we got a chicken dinner. We got a 4-man chicken dinner with all of us alive at the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow, was incredible.
Were y'all doing the math where you're like, hey, there's 6 left. Wait, there's 4 of us.
Well, it actually came down to that. There were 8 people left, and we were I told us to get, because the circle came in, and there was a small little cliff that we were hiding right up under, and we can kind of watch around and up towards the hill and right to our right, and a Jeep come fucking piling in to our right, and they started hiding behind the stuff over here, but they were getting shot by a different team up there and us, and they didn't know where we were at. So we killed them, and we started moving up, and eventually there was just 2 other people left. One of them took down Newbie. Baka killed the guy behind the tree. I ran up. Red went around, and I killed the guy that was down, and then we swarmed the last guy and killed him, and it was chicken dinner.
They were very excited. I
Oh,
wasn't
man.
watching it, but my sister and I were in here playing games, and we were just dying laughing at the tactical orders coming from the other room. It was hilarious.
Oh, it's so good, man. That feeling of adrenaline. And once you come out winning, you just jump up, and you're fucking like, hell yeah.
Yeah, you ran in here. Guess what just happened?
You guys got chicken dinner, whatever to you.
I didn't say whatever.
And then the next game, Red picked the spot, and we got second place. There was another team that beat us, unfortunately.
Aw.
Oh,
But, I mean, come on, first
good.
place and then second place? That's pretty damn good.
y'all should go pro.
Hell no. Man, we can't hit the broadside of anything. We run around with nothing but potato guns.
I don't know.
Other than that, me, Red, and Baka played some ranked heroes last night. We lost all
That
3
did not go well.
because we're bad.
You played some
it's
squad
funny.
too. You streamed it yesterday,
Oh,
and listening to those people play, and I'm
Yeah,
not
but it
saying
was a
those
free
people in
weekend,
the
right?
negative.
So you had pretty good noobs on there, right?
We played on one of the free servers. Like the game that I played off stream with Baka, I got to be a medic, and medic is my class. I love to play medic, and it was incredible because our squad kind of moved into the zone, and we started hunkering down, and we were holding off. Our people were getting shot, and I was basically just running around, picking people up, healing them, keeping them alive, and everybody's like super nice, complimentive. We're working together as a squad and as a team. It turns out really well, and that game was wonderful. I wish I could have streamed that game because that game was incredible and a great show of how that game is. And then the next one that I played on stream was fucking awful.
Yeah. But no, what I was gonna say is, like, the tactical orders and stuff, it's like every person playing that game really feels like they're part of the military. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Except that one guy that was like, you should have done what I said when I said it. Oh my god, you guys.
I was watching a streamer, I think it was Friday or something. It was right when it came
Hit the
to
free weekend
or whatever. And like his little tag at the bottom was playing squad. Let's see how the noobs handle it, because I knew that it was tactical in the way that it was done because Chicken had talked about it on the show before. So I click on it, but I didn't realize how tactical it was.
Yeah.
Like,
it sounds like people in the military giving actual military orders.
Yeah, they're like, I'm over here on the blah, 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 like giving out stuff. And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Tree, she's sitting there. She goes, what are you watching? And I was trying to explain what the game was, what was going on. And she goes, is that something you get into? And I was like, I don't have time for that. I'd be like, yo, I'm over here by this shed.
I'm going to stay here.
The games could take up to an hour and a half, too. So once you're in it, and you kind of create a bond with these people. Because you got your squad lead, who you basically follow. You can have up to 9 people, in a squad. So 8 people in the squad leader. Squad leader has a specific key that they can talk to all the other squad leaders, and that's how you coordinate with all the other squads. And then you have another button that lets you talk to your squad specifically, and then another chat button that lets you talk to everybody around you. So, if you're with your squad, you can talk to your squad, be like, hey, squad B, we're moving over here to defend, move over there now, get together, set up, build fortifications, be ready for the enemy. Hey, squad B, you have enemies coming in from your west. All right, B squad, get ready, watch that flank. It's very coordinated and very, incredible to play. If you get a good game, it's really incredible to play. If you get a bad game, it can really sap the soul out of it, unfortunately. But but if you get a good game, it's incredible because the people are nice, the gameplay is good. I didn't kill anybody in my medic game at all, but I got 300 points for rezzing and saving people.
Well, it sounds very interesting listening to people play it. It's weird, but
a little too much. It's kind of like when I used to play SOCOM too, because it'd be you have the little thing and you're going alpha team,
Yeah.
move
pretty
them wherever
much.
you wanted to.
it really
right?
was. It was like Charlie team is going here, and then we're gonna send this resource truck over here. It's like, oh my god, are you people? Is this actually how the military runs drills in their off time? I think it might.
Is maybe.
Maybe. I mean, some people, and this isn't to be offensive to them, but some people call it the PTSD simulator because you can get so into it that you're just like, when you hear gunfire, you're just like, oh shit, there are people around. And then you're trying to defend, and there are rockets and explosions around you, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Or you get shot out of nowhere, and you're just kind of limping back, trying to get out of the fucking line of fire. You're like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? Because it's realistic. You hear the gunfire before you see it. You feel it before you see it. If you're out in the open and you get shot, you just lay down on the ground and you fucking hope to God your team is around, that somebody can help you. Because more than likely you don't see them. They see you before you see them.
Wow.
It's something else.
I did not play something that realistic. I spent a lot of time playing City Skylines, and I'm stuck at a population of 1 million people.
Only a million?
I can't figure out how, I was like, I'll just walk away from it while I go get ready for the show and let it run itself so that when I come back, maybe they'll have some demand for more housing or more, jobs or something. I left for half an hour and let it run by itself and came back and they still didn't want anything. I'm like, I can't what do you guys not want to expand for? I've got all these abandoned buildings. What's going on?
They're very content, Grif.
Yeah,
I
let them
don't
be
know.
happy. Wait, what?
I don't know what they want. Well, the population keeps fluctuating. Like, I'll be gaining 5 people, and then I'm losing 25, and then I'm gaining 40, and it's like, what do you want? I've built all the things that I can build as far as the attractions and whatnot. They've got seaports, they've got trains, they got a new airport. It's like, how do I make you want to
expansions?
I don't know. Maybe that's just where it about caps out, where you're like, okay, your city is running as autonomously as it possibly can at this point, so start a new
$1 million
game.
people is pretty big.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. I mean, damn it, I don't know what to do. I don't know why.
Start a new game.
But is that what you're supposed to do? Are you supposed to cap out at $1 million and then go somewhere else and play? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know what the end game is supposed to be. I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
And here he goes typing into it. He's looking it up for you.
He is Googling it. It's something that I could do, but I don't.
Yeah, I know. Apparently nobody knows how to use Google. Hey,
Well,
guess
because I
what?
wanted to try to figure it out myself.
1 million is the population limit.
Oh. Okay, then. That would explain some things.
Hey, Grif, that's why you won't go any higher than $1 million.
I mean, I'm a little over $1 million. But not a whole lot over $1 million. I don't know. Okay, fine. So I'm just supposed to start over now? Like I have reached the end?
Or you're playing on that PC thing that I swear they have something that's called mods.
Well, yeah, but I don't really need to mod that game that much.
You could break caps and things like that. You want a bigger city?
Well, no, I guess that is like end game. You have 1 million people in your city and it's still functioning.
And you're like, yay!
And then basically you just let it go and you forget about it.
Grif, you beat the game. Congratulations. You can start a new one.
Okay, well, I'll start at city number 75 now. Well, that's good to know. And, but beyond that, what were you going to tell me something else about City Skylines? Because I'll listen.
Yes, you should get the natural disasters. It'll remove a bunch of your people. It'll remove a bunch of your people, and you can rebuild them.
That's not people removal. That's mass death.
It's nature removing people.
Wow, that's awful.
Hey, if you got $1 million population cap, how to remove it? Remove the people, and there you go. Your population's down. Rebuild it.
What if you didn't like 5th Street? Okay.
Exactly.
Those streets have names now. Start wiping out the ones for people's names that I don't like.
Exactly. God.
I wouldn't have anybody left in my city.
That's when you can just get to restart.
Which is what I'm going to do anyway, so they can live their happy 1 million lives, and I'll go start a city somewhere else. I was like, do you not have enough education? I was afraid to put too many schools in town, because then nobody would want to work in the industry stuff.
We need more trade schools.
They don't have trade schools.
What kind of modern game is that?
High school, and if you go to high school, you're too good to work at a farm. So I couldn't give them all schools. So
you're too good to work at a farm if you go to high school.
Yeah, that's how it works. Like, you're overeducated to work at the farm.
I feel like I would be a farmer. I mean, I would be offended if I was a farmer.
Yeah, I know. Like,
right?
holy shit.
Because I've known farmers that are college educated.
Yeah.
It's just a choice.
Yeah.
And
no,
technically,
not in the game.
But
in the game,
we have agricultural schools.
If you go to school through high school, then you don't want to work at the farm. So you want office buildings. But if I put a bunch of office buildings in, they don't have anything to sell because I don't have any industry. So, watch your hand. So, I mean, I just have huge swaths of town that have no schools. You people are just, you are born and then you go to work. Sorry.
To be fair, though, that's the same principle in Banished. You don't want to build a school because those people become educated and want like the better jobs. They won't become your typical laborers.
Exactly. Which is kind of rude.
Yeah, I made that huge mistake. My first thing of Banished, I was like, oh yeah, I need to build a school. And then eventually it takes so long for the kids to get like out of school. It's like, no, you're taking too long. My old people laborers are dying. Get out of school. Go cut down trees.
You just need a natural disaster to help, remove some of the population.
It was click on it, delete, and then it crumbles away.
It's like build 7 universities. I was like, no, not building 7 universities. That would put my entire city out of business. Jeez.
What are you trying to do to me?
Start over.
I guess I will be starting over at some point. Damn it.
And now you can design it any way you want to.
I guess I'll have to pick one of the cities that I don't usually play on. But I don't like those as much. I don't pick them for a reason. I like to have access to the boats because that's tourism and industry, and I like to have lots of forest stuff.
So put it on hard mode and pick a different one.
Yeah, so you get a new challenge.
It sounds like you're too good at this game, Grif. It sounds like you just need to move on past your million city, and
she needs a new challenge.
That's
but
right.
there are challenges even like in the normal cities. Like that one time that I got an epidemic that I couldn't fucking cure, and it kept killing off huge portions of my population at a time.
Don't you wish you had that now? Huh?
Yeah, you get some of those natural disasters
because I don't
up
like
in there.
all the little sad faces, the sick people
Those
icons
sad
or
faces
little green
will be
sad
gone
faces.
eventually.
Yeah, they'll be little skulls because I don't have enough cemeteries built to pick up all the dead people that died from this pandemic
That's
that we were
fine. Get
having.
an
So you get
incinerator
to
and
build
toss them in there.
cemeteries. See, it's like this whole cycle. It's fantastic.
Exactly.
That's morbid and
You could
sad.
put a memorial up for
Oh my
them and be
God.
like the pandemic of 2022, whatever.
2022. Oh God, we've only got 3 or 5 years left.
God.
Oh,
Well,
too
beyond City Skylines, my sister hit the Fields train on Final Fantasy last night. She was like, "No, this is fine. This is good." I'm like, "Yeah, enjoy this now." Same thing Chicken did to me.
Yep, pop that shit into the Fields train drive and go right on down
Yep.
the road.
She hit the first major speed bump on the Fields train, and it's Chapter 9, by the way, not Chapter 8. So if you're planning to play it, Chapter 8 is still pretty safe. Chapter 9 is when you need the Kleenex. And she had to go through the really sad stuff, and then immediately stop playing because she had to get up. She was like, "I hate you so much." Chicken's like, "Yeah," she said the same thing to me, talking about me saying it to him. Because I did. I was like, "I hate you for making me play this."
Why did you make me play this?
And now she's got to wait until Friday before she can play again. I'm like, "Oh, no."
That she just got enough time to repair her soul, just to be ripped apart again.
Well, that, and you have to spend the entire week thinking about how sad you are from everything that happened and what could possibly go wrong from here because you know it's not just going to immediately get better.
Oh, hell no. The rest of this game is nothing. Like, there is no good feelings after this point. This game is
no
not.
good feeling.
Oh, there's
No
not.
more good feelings for you.
There's not. I mean, thinking about through the rest of the game, no. You don't get to be happy. There's, like, one thing that happens, and that's the only thing that you get to be happy about at
Well, I
any
mean, there's
point.
a few bright spots, though. Still. A few.
Some.
They're brighter spots. Okay? Shut up. Don't talk to me, okay? Now I'm gonna go be sad. And now... Now that I have talked about the sadness, I made you wait till last oak because I know you've been playing Assassin's Creed, and I want to know what you think about it.
I'm enjoying it. I haven't gotten to play it as much as I'd like to.
Is there a real people? Is there a modern day part to it?
So far, no.
Okay.
But like I haven't gotten that far into the game, so as of right now, I have not reached that. Now, it feels like it's leading up to that, because they did that to us. I'm pretty sure they did that to us in the very first Assassin's Creed. Like
where you played for a while and inside the Animus, but you didn't know that's what you were doing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it ended up modern day, and you went, "What the fuck just happened?"
Okay.
Right now it's I was talking to Chicken before the show. It's the mechanics for the fighting has changed a lot. It used to be you had basically one button that you would parry with and hit and do all that stuff and get away. Now it's to where you have a shield, so you can shield to block stuff.
Do you have a sword in your other hand? Or because it's usually just your assassin blades for the most part.
Yes, it changes. Yes, and you can just pick up more weapons as you go. They kind of drop loot, if you will. You pick those up, and then you and so you're able to change it. You're able to change that, and then I'm having fun exploring things. So I'll go around, and they have treasures you can loot, which I love. Like the whole idea of and the mystery of the Great Pyramids and things like that. So Egypt was kind of natural for this whole treasure hunting thing, and it's neat because you can go into cave areas, and as you go in it looks like old tombs and that you get to go in and kind of raid, if you will, which you kind of feel bad at. I feel bad at the same time because I'm we're past that part of society. We kind of look at it, we go, we close up the tombs now because, that was somebody's burial, sacred place type deal. But for some reason, Egypt, it's always allowed. Yeah, I'll make it happen,
Go steal all this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. He's dead.
And it's interesting because you have one of the abilities that you have is, I think you hold it up on the D-pad, and you do that, and it lets out this whole, it's basically the area will light up real quick, and as it lights up real quick, it leaves arrows behind of places you can loot. If they're white, it's like coins. You can go by and pick up.
So it's like a different version of
treasure.
the Eagle Vision.
Well, but sort of. It's basically the Eagle Vision is two different things. You get this that would create that Eagle Vision version, but it immediately comes back to regular, and then it just leaves behind the arrows, and the arrows will fade after a little bit. If they're blue, it's something you can interact with in like reading, which I pick up and I start reading them because I'm like, oh, I got to figure out what's going on with wherever we are, and like it annoys the shit out of me to have arrows behind walls and I can't figure out how to get to those things.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? So, and then you have the other version of what you were calling the Eagle Vision, which would be Sinew, which is your eagle. So you hit instead of holding the D-pad up, you would just hit it one time, and when you do, it switches to your eagle if you're outside. And then you can just kind of move.
So it legit is Eagle Vision.
Yeah, and you just move your eagle around, and
he's like a drone.
Yeah, well, he kind of is. And what's cool, like if you're going into an area that you have to a quest or whatever, and it's a restricted area, you send him across the top, and he has a hover mode, and when you put him into hover mode, he can look around. I know, right? It's hilarious.
Oh my god,
Eagles don't actually have a hover mode.
It's what it's called, hover mode, and which is basically, I'm assuming it just means he's not flapping. He's just kind of gliding, but
just sitting there.
It's just real slow. He's still moving, but it's like he's just. But he'll look around, and as he looks around, you have like your baddies that'll be walking around or whatever. He marks them for you. So as you look around, it's marking those, so you have an idea of where those guys are. But it also tells you what level they are. So if they're 4 or 5 or whatever, so you have an idea, can I take this guy? Can I not? Do I even need to attempt this guy? And I found out the hard way that if it has a little skull
you should probably
in red,
not do that.
Don't try to kill them because you're not going to be able to. You're just going to die.
What about assassinating? Can you still assassinate people?
You can still assassinate people. You just knock them out. It's kind of weird.
What happened to these?
They have ability to be able to knock them out too.
Too.
Well, it's abilities that you unlock as you go through.
So shanking is a late game ability?
Huh?
Shanking is a late game ability? You should be able to shank people right out of the gate.
You're an assassin! It's called, they have literally taken assassins out of Assassin's Creed. You are no longer an assassin.
Well, what's funny is because, if you do it, you sneak up on the guy, right, and you kind of knock him out. And he's laying on the ground. He's just kind of rolling around like this.
Oh my god, they still roll. Why?
It's still rolling around, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'll pick him up and take him out. Now, they act like the guy's dead. I'm sorry, that's knocking the dude out.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're still,
But they did
if
that
I
all
shoot
the
him
way
with an
back
arrow,
to Assassin's Creed 2.
If I shoot him with an arrow, those fuckers don't move. That's dead to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then you pick them up and you move them to where people can't see them. You can actually
dispose
carry
of
them
the body.
You pick up the body and you move it to
while they're still
areas.
shaking. No, let me go. I'm sleeping.
Well, and one of the I thought that it would be if it's not part of somebody's regular route to where the guy can be found, then the little carry button wouldn't pull up. But at least on 4 different occasions, the carry button didn't pull up. And somebody still found the guy. And I'm like, I should just be able to move everybody. I don't know.
You used to could. You could pick up literally everybody that you knocked down and take them wherever.
Well, I picked some up this morning that I don't know how they died. They were just laying inside of a building. And I picked them up and moved them.
I used to, in Assassin's Creed 2, be on the rooftops. And if I killed somebody up there, occasionally I would just pick them up and drop them off the roof just to scare the people on the streets. Because I'm an awful
one of the
human
fun
being.
parts. but for the most part, I'm enjoying it. But like I said, it's an adjustment on the fighting part of it, because you do have the guarding part, and then with the sword or whatever your weapon happens to be, you have a light hit, and you have like a hard hit, and the hard hit works as to bust through a shield. So if somebody has a shield, you can hit that and then hit them with a bunch of light ones real quick, and then just put your guard back up, because they're going to come back and strike and parry for you. So the combat's a lot more intense, but yeah, it's I've enjoyed it. Like, it's different, and I like my camel. I got a camel, and I like him. Yeah, you got a camel, and the camel's right out the gate. Soon as you get to where you can get an area to where you have the camel.
I guess maybe that like 25% makes up for not being able to shank people right at the start. Camel.
Camel.
But come on now, you're
though.
not even an assassin.
Yeah, but I have a camel.
Right?
I mean, I can't stab people, and that's a real bummer, but hey, I've got a camel.
To be fair, the game is called Origins, which I'm guessing, just based on the name, that this is how the whole Assassins start in the first place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then how are they going to explain the one that comes before this?
Which
one doesn't come before this.
They're gonna make one eventually that comes before this. Like, it's gonna take place
How
in
could you have a prequel to the start?
Exactly. They're gonna retcon it, and then they're going to change the story. Come on,
so.
Come on. You don't think EA is gonna go back further?
No, I don't.
No, because it's Ubisoft.
What episode is this? This is going to be 192. I'm going to remember this episode.
Not EA.
I don't think EA can go back further. They don't own the rights.
Oh, we see what you're doing with Assassin's Creed. We're going to have our own Assassin game set before Egypt. So we had Assassins first. We had like dueling Assassins games from two companies.
No, they're going to make Templars.
Oh my God.
They're going to make the Templars.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm going to remember this episode. And
okay.
At an E3 one year, they're going to come out with like something that takes place before, and be like, remember that episode? Remember? It's now called Assassin's Creed's Origins.
Origins. The pre-origins.
Exactly. This is the parents of the guy who started the Assassins.
I don't know. We'll see. When I get done with the plot line, I'll let you know exactly, and I'll probably go, "Yep, Chicken's probably right. They're gonna have to create one to go before this. This makes no sense."
Because he's gonna find something that leads them to the assassins that were already there.
The other thing that I've been playing is Destiny 2.
Crackhead.
I know. And it's funny because I picked it up again the other night because I'd been busy and I hadn't gotten to do anything, and so it was like Friday night. Picked it up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play for about an hour. So like 3 hours later, I feel like I'm almost done with the plot line just because of how the previous one was, but I'm not 100% sure. But today I got to a point and it's like, oh, here's your next thing, but you have to be at least a level 15 in order to get there, and I'm a level 13. So now I'm like,
you have to go grind out 2 levels.
But the good thing is they've got quests that are set up that they're not meaningless. Like, I feel like they're...
Well, the loot cave's back. Driven. You could always just go do that.
Yeah, we will discuss that.
Yeah, I saw that. So, but yeah, I went in and just... I'm almost level 15 now. Like, it didn't take me long to get to 14 because I was almost there. And then I was trying to head to another... what do they call them? Patrol is what they call them. They unlock some stuff, and one of them is called a patrol. And so I was heading to a patrol, and when I did, one of the public events all of a sudden came in, which are these mining crafts will show up with a bunch of bad guys, and then that gives you loot at the end to get you some shimmer. And they show up, and that got me to 14 pretty quick because they were awfully mad, and there was no one around to help. A lot of times when they have these things, you have other people that are like level 20s that'll help you out. Nobody was around to help me, and it sucked. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, it doesn't feel like the other one did, where it felt like I was forced to do a bunch of.
You gotta wait
crap
till we
I didn't
get
want
into
to.
the end game, where if the grind comes back or what there's to do, because as you mentioned, there's the loot cave now, which is unfortunate that is the way people are getting loot.
I think it's just funny that they had a loot cave in the first game, and they're like, oh, we gotta patch that out and fix it, and then they put it in the second game. On accident, so they're gonna have to patch it out and fix it again. Why do you not learn from the first one?
The other one was weird though, wasn't it? Like it wouldn't. Like this one seems pretty straightforward. The other one
was the
like,
same
didn't
way.
you have? Huh?
It was like, go here, kill these mobs, they respawn almost instantly. Kill these mobs, they respawn almost instantly. Now it's just go to the back of the cave, kill the mobs. Go to the front of the cave, kill the mobs. Go to the back of the cave, get the chest. I mean, like,
I thought it was.
Thing.
I thought the old one. I'd have to look it back up, but I thought the old one was one of those where it was like, oh, here's like 5 guys, and it drops like enough for like 20. I thought it was
it was just they just respawned constantly.
Okay.
So it was just like, shoot into this cave until everything's dead. Pick up everything. By the time that you step back out, shoot into the cave.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. But that's unfortunate because it shows that's the best way to farm. Like,
people talked about that, about how
cave.
it was, you could spend time doing that, or you could go and do the quests, and it was just the easier way to do it. And so
people are going to look for the
to
most.
Me, that's not the fun way to do it.
People are going to look for the most rewarding way.
Somebody said that they had
rewarded.
it was the most social thing in the comment section. Somebody said is the most social thing that they had done in the game, because there was like 10 to 15 of them just hanging out, shooting into this cave and talking and having a good time, and it was more social doing that than it was anything else.
It's because it's fun, it's easy, it's rewarding, and it's social. How unfortunate is it that Bungie created a loot cave that is the most social, rewarding thing in their game?
Well, it should also be indicative of if players are willing to do something to cheese the system like that, because apparently, and I haven't played it so I don't know, but apparently a lot of the loot stuff is loot box based. You picked up all these things, you take them, you turn them in for loot boxes, you open loot boxes, and that's how you get your... It's not like loot boxes you buy. You have to turn in in-game stuff for them, and that's how you get your gear. And the rate that you get duplicate gear or stuff that's just useless is apparently pretty high, and this is just the easiest way to pick up a whole bunch of stuff really, really, really quickly. It's for faction tokens, I think, is what's in this cave.
So
yeah, tokens are something you turn in.
Gear?
That's what it is.
What?
Do mobs not drop gear? Everything just drops tokens?
No.
I was gonna say, I think that's mostly for the faction stuff, which I guess is your high-end gear, maybe?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll get some of the stuff that gets dropped that's pretty high end, but the tokens, basically what it is you take it to whatever world you're on is going to have a guy that you're going to have to, or woman that you're going to have to take those tokens to, and when you do, then they make gear available for you, and it kind of like the engrams. Remember the engrams?
Yeah.
That same type concept.
You just
I
turn
really
out
hated
coins.
It's just
that.
another way of
I
doing
hated
it, and
that
they
so
still have
much.
engrams. They still have engrams, but it's that's the way.
I hated that so much, because it's like, okay, I found this really, possibly awesome engram. Please go disenchant it and tell me what it... Oh, it's shit. Again. Thanks. Just take this and throw it in the trash with all the other shitty things. I felt like, I don't know, for me in Destiny 1, and it seems like some people feel this way in Destiny 2, I'm not saying I know for sure because I haven't played it, but it feels like the loot system is not as rewarding as you would hope it would be.
And see, and I don't understand that, because to me, I feel more like I'm progressing through the game, and my equipment and stuff that I'm picking up along the way. Because I mean, shit, I think I've got like 25,000 glimmer right now, and
But it may be because you're still early, though. And maybe it's one of those things where once you hit a certain point, it becomes really difficult to advance,
and that's
because of the RNG of it.
Well, I mean, I watched a streamer. He played it for 4 days, got max level, max light level, and was done with the game. But those are hardcore people who are going to play it all the way through, get all this stuff, and then it comes to a point of just waiting because
what do I do now?
You needed, and that always seems to be the issue with any MMO game is you're gonna have hardcore people who get to the end and want something else, they want challenges, but there's nothing there. You gotta give a constantly rewarding experience.
Usually makes it a little more difficult to get one, you can speed to quote unquote the end, which is level cap, but you have a whole bunch of shit once you hit level cap that you need to do in order to actually continue the story.
Well, see, I'm right now, I'm 14, almost 15, and I feel like the part that I'm about to start will be the start of the chapters that will be the end of the current storyline.
Yeah.
So the story end game is what you're coming up with.
Story end game.
I don't remember what the cap level is. I think it's 20.
20 cap.
Yeah, and then
cap.
from there it's all light level, and then
it's 20 cap, 300 light. I think is the current ones, but because I'm at 150 light and at 14.
Damn! Wow,
So,
you're already halfway to cap, and you're not even cap level.
So, but see, I think you have to be a certain before you can go into like the raid.
You have
or
to
any
be a
of that
certain light
stuff.
level. It's like
And
having
just-
item levels in WoW.
Yeah, and they're adding I can't remember what they're called. Remember they had the little mini raids,
The strikes.
strikes. Like I just unlocked the first strike.
I'm glad you remember what they were called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember because they were the most interesting thing. But unfortunately, with MMOs, it's hard. The strikes were just run through and kill whatever. It didn't matter. It was
Right.
just simple. With those, they needed mechanics and they needed coordination. Yeah, they were 3-person strike teams, but you needed something in there that caused those 3 people to work together and fight your way instead of just run and
Shoot
gun.
everything.
Like the end bosses were pretty neat. Like they had some mechanics and whatnot. But I mean, you get to
You should almost add. You're saying almost add like a puzzle element to it.
yes, like the
To
bosses
where one
have to
person
have
has to like,
mechanics.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, stand on this, open the door, run through, stand on that so that the rest of your party can run through. The person on the other side has to hold off monsters while they try to push them off the thing, and, make it challenging. People want a challenge.
Some people do. Some
Yeah,
people don't.
yeah, some
apparently.
people do, some people don't, and that's fair enough. But you're going to get more people who, like, you can always tone those things down, but make it more interesting than just a simple run and
just
gun.
run and gun.
Yes.
Yep.
I can see that.
In an MMO setting, at least. Like, first-person shooters, you can make it run and gun. That's fine. But if you want an MMO that needs to be unique in its fashion, you got to create interesting mechanics to draw people in.
Right.
Speaking of
Well, it's not
interesting
a-
mechanics, don't let me forget to tell the story about the WoW mount that we got because, I wanted to talk about it. And I forgot when I was talking about what we were doing.
Yeah, I forgot about talking about Diablo 3. I played Diablo 3, the new season opened up. Oh, that was fun.
Basically, I'm done with Destiny 2 anyway, so you can tell the story.
Oh, okay. Well, random side story here thing. There are a couple of mounts in World of Warcraft that you can get by doing some really search
Specific.
and find kind of puzzle things. The first one was like, go here, click this. It'll give you a thing to go here, click that. And that was for the Riddler's worm.
The Riddler's
mount
mana worm.
thing. Yeah, it's an ugly flying worm. It's hideous. But this one was for a unicorn, so I will do whatever you want me to and jump through whatever hoops you need so that I can have it, and I did. But oh my god, there's no way without a walkthrough I would have ever solved any of those riddles because they were friggin' ridiculous. Like, one was like, hey, remember this boss thing that was in the code but wasn't actually in the game, but somebody data mined it? So it's that and all the things that it does, plus 1, plus this, and then you have to, like, pull all these levers to the number that it equals out to. It's fucking just ridiculous. And it was running all around the world. Like, we were in Nomergon and the Caverns of Time. Oh, no, it wasn't Caverns of Time. It was AQ we had to go to at one point. We had to play Bejeweled in AQ. AQ 40, which is a vanilla raid. You had to go and do this, defeat this one boss, and then it pulls up
You had
another
to
thing that you
defeat
have to
the
go
last
click.
boss, and it was on an altar in the back of the fucking thing that only spawned after you did everything else in order. Like,
Yeah, you had to do all this stuff in order. So you're like just a crazy person running around. And then the last thing that you have to do is go to...
my dear God.
You had to go to... It took us forever to find the place that we needed to go to start with. But you have to go to where Karajan is at, and then go to a crypt that they were going to use and never did. Blizzard
It
never put
wasn't
it in.
vanilla. No, it wasn't vanilla, and it was used for Hunter and Warlock quests.
Oh, is
in
that
vanilla, but they had plans to use it for something else, but then they
And it
abandoned
never happened. Yeah, it was
Yep.
just kind of this big empty crypt. And then you get put in this maze. And basically, the maze is procedurally generated. There are was it 4 or 5?
That maze was in Kunlai Summit. The crypt was where you picked up the mount.
Oh, that's where we picked up. Okay, I thought we had to go there and then it. Okay.
No,
Yep, you're
remember
right,
we had
you're
to
right.
drink, we had to eat the ashes of the old sorcerer, and it teleported us to the fucking maze.
Yeah, we had to eat ashes. That's always something you want to do.
And it puts you in this goddamn maze. It is
not with your friend. It is
No.
by yourself. So even if you're in a party, which we were,
And-
it split us up.
Yeah, and it's procedurally generated, so no two people ever have the same thing.
Yeah, the walkthrough is like, you should get paper to make your own map.
Oh
I was
my
like,
dear
okay.
goodness.
It looked like I was writing beautiful mind shit over here, because I had like notebook pages with post-it notes stuck on it because the path had gone off the page, and I was in that thing for motherfucking 2 goddamn hours.
2 hours. Holy
2
shit.
hours. Baka got stuck playing Bejeweled for 2 hours and was out of the maze in 45 minutes.
How do you play Bejeweled for 2 hours?
Because he's bad. You heard me, Baka, you're bad. But my goodness, that maze was just... it's the same room.
Yes.
4 spaces. You can go northeast, southwest. And every time you go into the next room, it generates a new room with some of the doors blocked off or not. And then you go and you keep going, and it keeps generating room after room after room.
Yeah, you've got to find the 4 colored flames and the 4 colored runes that they match to.
5.
But you can only... Is it 5? But you can only pick up 1 flame at a time. So you'd pick up, like, the red one, go past the blue and green altars to find the red altar, and then you have to go find the blue and green... Oh, my God.
So you got to mark it down as you're going through.
Forever. I wish I had my notebook right here so that I could just show you the insanity.
I'm telling you now, like I told you all, when you all told me this story, the only thing I could think about, and if people have not read this yet, they need to, is Ready Player One. That whole sequence, like it's that whole... Here is something that you really have to know and do your research in order to be able to get to the next part and like move on and make that happen. It's like the fact that they put that in, was the mount
Worth
it?
Yes.
What you had to go through.
Because first of all, it has a unique running animation, which is super fucking neat. It's got a
Here,
unique
I'll link
jumping.
you a picture, Oak.
It's got a unique
There.
jumping animation. There are models like that in the game, but it's the only one of its kind. Like that right there.
And when you rear up on it, it does a circle. That's so pretty.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my map that I made because I have it right here.
Oh, do you? His
Yeah.
map was much neater than mine.
This is my map. Like, I don't know if you can see it very well, but
it looks like... It
Like-
looks like a helix. It's like some type
like
of
all these
basically, like,
places
the
you
room
kept
and-
going. Like, all right, I would start at the blue ruin, and then I would go up, to the left, to the left, to the left, up to the right, up to the left, but down, and then pop right back at the blue ruin. I was like, how the fuck did that even happen? Like, how do I go up and
know.
around, and then I pop back over here? It's because the rooms basically
Rearrange.
rearrange.
It's like that
and
maze
keep
in
you on your-
Labyrinth where she's drawing the little lipstick arrows so she knows where she goes, and the little things pick it up and turn them. It's like that. It's just like that.
Dear God, that maze just pissed me off. One time I went through a door and turned around, and it was blocked off, and I couldn't go back where I came. I'm just like,
That never happened to me. I never turned around to see it blocked off.
I never got a fucking dead end.
Yeah, I got like 3.
Yeah, she
Okay,
got
let
dead
me-
ends, and I never got
Let
one.
me tell you now. Looking at this unicorn,
It's amazing.
if I were to own a unicorn, this would be the unicorn I would own.
It
Okay.
looks cool.
First of all, 2 favorite colors, purple and black, and that's the color of this unicorn. Mm-hmm. Like, it's perfect. Oh my
Yes.
God, it's beautiful.
See?
Yes.
You would go through all that pain in the ass shit.
Yeah,
Yes, I would.
I thought about giving up a couple of times, but I was already like over halfway through the maze, and I just said, "Fuck it." Like I just kept going through it, praying. I eventually, like, I stopped doing the map after a while. I said, "Fuck it." Like
I didn't.
I started writing it, and then eventually I said, "Fuck it." I'm gonna go ahead and just start running through wherever I need to. Oh dear goodness, it was something else, but
You ain't kidding, man. Oh. Well, that that was the other thing that we did that I forgot to mention. So,
Too funny.
you guys want to talk about some more of the news? We already talked about the Destiny thing, so I'll get rid of that tab. I don't need that anymore. Oh, you play FIFA, so would you be sad if there wasn't a new one every year?
No, because it costs
No.
because it costs me $70 every year. So no, I wouldn't have a problem with it. And that's the kind of the thing with all sports games. If you look at, of course, for years we had NCAA football here in the U.S., which was amazing. Thank you, lawsuit. They completely messed that up, but they had, of course, with Madden and FIFA, those, and even the NHL and the NBA games. It makes more sense, I think with modern technology, just why can't you just put a
Why can't you update it as the game
yeah,
goes
just
on?
update it as it goes on because we'll use actually I'll use WoW as an example. If you look at the original graphics and everything that has to do with WoW, they're able to update it on a regular basis, not necessarily with just an expansion, but just a regular update. Why can't we do that with our other games? So like the mechanics and all that stuff. Like I'm fine with adding 5 gigabytes to a base game and every 4 years giving me a fresh one or whatever, and pay $30 versus paying 60.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. Like, I didn't think about that, but I mean, Blizzard fucking releases major content and revamping before an expansion even comes out. So why can't games do that? Oh, next year we'll update the game, update the graphics, and release all the new teams.
Well, and the thing is, you all don't have a problem. It's about every 3 years you get a new expansion, right?
Oh, it's about a year and a half to 2 years. About 2 years.
It used to be a little longer, but not anymore. They've gotten, I think, because it's getting closer to the ending the game is total.
And they're trying to keep everybody in together, which they've done with Vanilla WoW.
So if that's the case, I mean, every 2 years, I wouldn't have a problem paying, $30 every year for an update. I think that's the most I would pay for an update. And then, drop in 60 maybe every 3 to 4 years. I wouldn't have, or 70 every 3 to 4 years. Because I think that by then you're creating a newer game engine, whatever. Right now they use the Frostbite engine,
which is one of the best engines currently.
Is it?
So,
the Frostbite,
keep up with the engines as much as I should.
Frostbite and Unreal Engine 4 are two of like the best engines to use right now. Frostbite, I can't remember who came out with it, but I know it was
EA.
EA
owns it.
It was a really good engine.
I'm pretty sure that's an EA thing.
That's the thing too, because like you have to. That's one of the deals that some of the problems they've run into is the fact that they want that Frostbite engine used for games they're publishing, so they can promote their own product. Which to me, it's like if it's harder to do that, though,
is it really worth it? I don't know.
Worth it? Like if you give me the engine for free, yeah, okay,
like Unreal Engine 4 does, they give it to free to everybody. You want to use it, go for it.
So I think that I'd be fine with it.
Well, good, because EA is saying that might be what they're going to do, is not release a new one every year.
Thank you, Vampire. Thank you.
I mean, how many games do we have to have before we realize that this is a good idea to not do a new one every year? I mean, I guess with sports games, people kind of expect it, but we can update sports games easier than, like, a story game. But, like, Assassin's Creed, I'd learned the hard way. Every year releasing is not a good idea.
Well, the main thing with the sports game is up until they've added the journey in FIFA and whatever the one is called Madden, they've done the same thing for the storyline. Yeah. Up until they did that, all they were doing is they would update rosters.
Yeah,
and the game mechanics
that
changed.
With a DLC kind of update.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like... And they continue to update them. Like, FIFA is actually set up so... Let's say I logged in today and I have not... and Celtic, who is usually who I play with because I'm a Celtic fan... let's say Celtic played, and yesterday they didn't do too well, and the certain players didn't do too well. The game is affected that way. It actually shows you arrows,
like their stats going up and down.
Yeah, their stats going up and down. That those players aren't doing that well, and they update it through real life, which I thought was pretty neat. That they're able to do that. And then they also have it to where, like, if you're playing through a regular season or whatever, it's based off how you're playing through the season on whether those players continue to move up in their abilities and all that. But
if a player gets hurt in real life, do they get hurt in the game too, or are they like taken off the roster?
Well, the only thing I can figure is because sometimes you'll log into the game and people they won't show them hurt. But they'll show them, like, it might be a starter that is a starter, and there's a higher, because they're all given numbers on how ranking they are, right? So you might have let's say that the highest person on your team is an 85. He might be on the bench or in the reserves. So the only thing I can figure, like if you're just doing a pickup game, and the only thing I can figure is that person is not able to play for some reason in real life. So they put him in the reserves and try to put the best starting 7 that they could based on the fact. Because there are going to be some people that go, okay, well, Celtics playing against the Rangers today. Let me set those rosters up exactly how they would be and see how the game goes or whatever.
Actually, there is somebody who plays one of the football games will actually simulate, they'll take the exact players on their teams and simulate the game in the game, like whatever game is being played in the NFL. They'll simulate the game and see how it goes, and then post about it, like make a video and whatnot, and then they'll compare and see how the two teams did compared to their.
Yeah, I used to do that with NCAA football. And I would do it with the NCAA football one. I'll never forget this, and I would never have done it again, and I'll never do it with any other sport. Because normally when you're playing one of those games, the regular 15-minute clock really is only about 3-5 minutes of gameplay because you're able to adjust real-time play.
Right.
So I would do 3 to 5 minutes, but if I simulated, and I did this one time, it was true 15-minute quarters. So you're sitting there for a full hour watching this. It is the most boring thing on the planet. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. It's okay. I think the final score was like 47-42 or whatever. And I was like, okay, no, this is not going to be real. Because it's just like, by then people are hurt, whatever. It's like, all right. So the game is built for you to do it with the short quarters or the short halves. Which is part of the reason I like playing FIFA is because FIFA, it's like 5-minute halves for that 45-minute allotted slot that you normally have. It's only like 5 to 7 minutes. So you can play a lot of games in an hour versus, American football style game where you would end up playing maybe one game every 30 minutes. So,
right.
Yeah. So I'm excited if they do this because it just makes more sense to me. I'm okay with downloading things instead of going out and buying a physical copy.
Right. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, on other news for EA, they're buying Respawn Entertainment, which is the makers of Titanfall. So, yay.
I didn't know they didn't own them. Like, I seriously straight up thought they owned this company.
They were just publishing Titanfall before, but now they own the people that make Titanfall. Which, as I pointed...
They didn't own... Okay, that's very confusing then. Okay, apparently Respawn had 3 games in development. A new Titanfall. Okay. A VR gaming experience, which we can all assume is going to be a Titan-based VR game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And a Star Wars game.
The Star Wars game is the one that they just shut down.
Yeah, the one Visceral is also working on.
So, did EA give them permission to start working on that, or were they working on it already?
You're talking about the Star Wars game?
Yeah. Okay, they shut down Visceral, right? We're the ones working on it.
Now we're all like, wait a minute.
Okay, Visceral was working on a Star Wars game. They got shut down.
Do you think that's who they gave... Hold on, that might have been who they gave Visceral's game to.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know that... Okay, if EA did not own Respawn while they were working on a Star Wars game, did they buy permission to work on a Star Wars game? And that's why EA wanted them?
No, it was a different one. It says in the article... that the Star Wars title was announced last year. It was supposed to be a whole new adventure set in the Star Wars universe. At the time, it was the 3rd announced Star Wars game in production at EA alongside Battlefront and the now pivoted Visceral Games project. So no, it was different from that one.
So they may take whatever they were working on and give Respawn Visceral's assets and be like, hey, use this in your game. It's going along. We just want it different.
But it also makes me wonder... What would you do? Because you've already have Battlefront 2,
right.
that is basically it's online play. That's what it's built for.
Right.
You do have a story mode at the beginning, but then you have the online play part. Then you had the Visceral game that was being started,
which was going to be an adventure game that you don't want.
It's going to be an adventure game, straight up, Uncharted in the stars, if you will. Okay, so you have that. You take someone like Respawn that's known for their multiplayer only game that they added
a single player
to, so essentially what Battlefront 2 is, so compared to Battlefront, right? So what are they doing? Like are they doing a single player game and they're like, okay, well, it makes no sense. I just don't get it. It's got to be. I would assume it's going to be first person versus third person for the Visceral game.
That'd be very
maybe
different.
So I tell you what I would like is if they would reboot some of the old games back from the 90s.
Keep dreaming, buddy.
Most of those were first person shooters.
Maybe you will be a stormtrooper that has to pilot the AT-ATs and things like that. You still get your big mechs, right? And
oh, wow, that would be intense.
It would be very familiar gameplay.
Oh no, we're going down.
The 5-minute fall that you have to take with that. You'd be like, oh god, here it comes any minute now.
So it was announced, but we just don't know what the hell it is. Great.
Yep.
And they were partnered with EA and LucasArts. They were just basically starting the whole, all right, you're going to buy us? Okay.
Well, the CEO of Respawn feels as though being sold to EA will allow them to keep their creative freedom. Keep dreaming, buddy.
If I wasn't on this mic, I would laugh so hard. But yes, ha, 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 you're lying to yourself.
How do you believe bullshit.
How do you believe that's going to allow you to be able to keep your creative?
You can't. You cannot. There's no way you can rationally believe that you will continue to have creative freedom once you are part of EA. Because have you not seen their past history? They have a bunch of dead bodies stacked in the back closet. You're about to be on top. I mean, that's just how it is. Maxis also thought they were going to get to keep their creative freedom. No.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Respawn Entertainment for making that choice. They shouldn't have.
Oh, no. That's just... I feel sorry for the employees more than
anybody else. Speaking of employees, TellTale laid off 25% of its staff this past week.
Damn shame.
I mean, they laid off 90 people, which is around 25% of their entire staff, which is just so sad. And I don't know what the deal is with that. Like, I know Tales from the Borderlands wasn't as big of a financial success as they had hoped. The Batman games weren't as big financially as they had hoped.
Which is surprising.
I mean, and they've all got really great critical acclaim. It's just they're not selling. So what's the problem
What's
here?
The problem? It's, I guess, I don't want to say it's their original stories, but kinda. Like, the Walking Dead stuff is an original story inside the Walking Dead universe.
Yeah, but so was Tales from the Borderlands. They just started pulling in characters
that
but
they
had
used Handsome
previously.
Jack and some of the other characters. I mean, they even brought back Borderlands 2 characters and whatnot. And then they killed off a major character in a side game, which is heartbreaking for most people who were a huge fan of the series. And I think it was a terrible choice.
I cried on stream.
So did I. I was more mad than anything, being like, why would you do that here? Give him a bigger badass in the main game where he deserves. Because, I don't know, it's just weird. And then you got Wolf Among Us. Wolf Among Us was an incredible original story. A very good take on fantasy.
How many people do they have working there?
Well, if 90 is 25%.
Probably close to 400.
I understand this. Do you think that they're a victim of their own success? And what I mean by that is because I feel like when TellTale first started this whole storybook style, choose your own adventure style of games, it was very unique, and I feel like their staff was probably a lot smaller than 400 people.
Probably.
And then, it would take, what, four months or so before we'd get an episode between each one of them?
It was
that's
3
part
months.
of what hurt them, is that a lot of other companies started doing the episodic releases, but they were releasing them in a couple of weeks instead of it being you have to. Because I mean, with Borderlands specifically, because that one's been my favorite of the group because I'm a Borderlands addict. You had to wait months in between releases for episodes, and your hype will cool off a lot. And a lot of people are like, well, I'll wait until all the episodes come out, because you and Oak and I, we're both like that for a lot of the stuff, so we'll wait till all the episodes come out and then we'll get it. But sometimes the hype wears off and you never end up picking it up. Like we haven't got, me and you, Chicken, we haven't picked up the latest Walking Dead because we were waiting for all the episodes to come out and we just haven't picked it up yet. So
well, and that's kind of where I'm leaning towards this too, is think of all the names of the games that y'all have just recently named out that they've done. But if you think about it, we'll talk about The Walking Dead, for instance. We had The Walking Dead Season 1 that took over a year to come out, basically. Mm-hmm. And then we had Wolf Among Us that took about a year for it to come out. And, of course, in the meantime, they announced, I think, Season 2 of Walking Dead and I think a Game of Thrones game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and they just recently, I think the most recent one was the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Right, well, did they do the Minecraft game, too?
Yeah, they did Minecraft Story Mode.
Okay, so but all these games are being released one right after the other, and so they've got to have a staff of 400.
But the episodes are coming out too slow.
Yeah, and your licenses, licensing for Game of Thrones,
expensive.
And all that, it's going to be like, unless it's commissioned, I just you turn around and go, okay, to this, okay, that's cool, but how's that agreement work out?
I mean, they didn't give a reason why they were doing the layoffs. Basically, it was some PR roundabout BS of, we're reorienting because the environment has changed in the industry and we have to move forward. And it's like, well, part of the environment changing is that you got way ahead of yourself with the team that you had, and then you got into a big loss area because it was too long in between episodes. People lost interest because they were waiting on all of them, and you were putting out other games in between those episodes.
Finish
so
what you started.
Snowballed. Yeah, finish what you start.
I'm actually okay with them starting a new episode of a new game, as long as I feel like I've gotten most of the game you just released. So, like, if you turn around, like, we'll use Batman, for example. So, if I've got three of 5 episodes of Batman that are out, and then you start a new series and release that out, and I know that within the next 2 months, I'm going to finish those other 2 episodes, or within a month, I'll finish those other 2 episodes. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is it's like, I don't know that there's 2 months in between, or 3 months, or 4 months. Like, they did that for a long time. I think now they actually announced this episode's coming out then, this episode's coming out then, whatever.
Right,
but
a regular
for
schedule.
a long time. Yeah, like I think on the original.
Are all of the Batman episodes out?
Yes.
Okay, because I was thinking Chicken streamed.
It's season 2?
Season 1, all the ones in Season 1 are out.
You streamed like the first 2 episodes.
The first episode came out on August 2nd. The second episode came out on the middle of October, which is decent. It's like 2.5 months. Yeah. Fair enough. But then the next one came out in January. Well, I know, but I mean...
But you haven't even finished it. It's one of those things where it's like you kind of lose interest in it.
Oh, I haven't lost interest in it. The only reason I haven't played it is because some shitty fucking update made it so that I have to read-down... An update made it so that it fixed a lot of the issues in the game, but the update made it so that those issues that it fixed, it made you re-download the whole game again, and then you would have 2 copies of the whole game down, and it's like 12.9 gigs. And I was like, I can't
give up that hard drive space.
I didn't want to give up that hard drive space for absolute sure back when I had, what I was using before. Now I can easily afford it, but before it was like I'm not re-downloading the whole game. So my idea now is I'm going to uninstall the whole game and then reinstall the game itself in like one entirety, and then I'll play it from there. But I was going to play it on stream, but that was last year.
You can start over, stream the whole thing.
When we were having some serious internet difficulties, which they seem to be steadying it out. My computer's a lot stronger now, so anything that goes wrong, it's on their shitty end.
Wow.
You hear me.
I'm sad that this is what's happening, but it seems like TellTale got in over their head with their licensing and their waits in between episodes.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with that.
Maybe they will reevaluate some of that.
Speaking of reevaluating decisions in some way or another.
Oh, Lord.
See what I did there? Call of Duty is they're actually, for some reason, Activision is just now being sued by Humvee for use of likeness of their vehicles and their actual logo, which evidently has been used since Call of Duty for Modern Warfare.
So, like a decade.
This year. It's now a decade. It's like just now a decade.
Yeah, but still, that you waited a decade to go, oh shit, you guys are using our stuff. Please don't do that. We are owed money now. Like, what? It's a decade. Why didn't you have a problem with this when the game launched?
The funny thing is, to me, is AM General, who is the maker of Humvee, some of the things they said is only at the expense, that Call of Duty's phenomenal successful game came only at the expense of AM General and consumers who are deceived into believing that AM General licenses the games or is somehow connected with or involved in the creation of the games.
Let me tell you
Okay,
how
I have
many
to
people
backhand that guy so hard to make him rethink his life. Really? You
how
think
many
that Call of
people went, oh my god, Humvee endorsed this, I will play it.
Nobody.
Not one of y'all motherfuckers did.
There might have been one, but that guy probably didn't realize there were what Humvee they were talking about.
And as the article says, that's a hell of a stretch. Okay,
that is a big stretch.
But to top that off, AM General said Call of Duty use of Humvee is a key selling feature of the games.
No, nobody buys it because of Humvee.
I don't care.
Trust me.
Wow.
You want to know why people buy it? Guns. You can shoot guns at people.
I don't think
why.
I've ever seen more of a one-sided lawsuit in my life.
Don't forget we had the dog in one of them,
Oh,
right?
Yep.
So, I get to drive tanks. I get to drive, like, come on.
No,
man.
I get to drive a Humvee.
Yes, I want to drive the Humvee. No, it's I want to drive the fucking tank. Let me shoot the 50 cal. Like, nobody cares. Humvee. Nobody cares but you. And by the way, at this point, I really feel like Humvee falls under kind of a general use, like Kleenex or Xerox. Those are name brands that you use generally to mean one thing, no matter what brand
Band-Aid.
you're actually using.
People don't say adhesive bandage or whatever. They say Band-Aid.
I need an adhesive strip.
I need an adhesive strip to cover my wound.
No, go get me a Band-Aid. Because it's general use. I'm sorry, Humvee, but you're not going to win this.
No.
You have gone the way of Kleenex. Kleenex is not the only tissue, and it's not the name of tissue paper. It's a brand, but get over it. Humvee, you stupid.
Too funny. I 10 years. They waited 10 years to bring this lawsuit.
To be mad about it. That's like Papa John's trying to say that the NFL protest is why their pizza's not selling. No, your pizza's not selling because it's shitty. Now you're just looking for something to blame.
And expensive.
Humvee, you're just looking for something to blame.
Doesn't taste that great, and it's expensive.
Yep. I guarantee you nobody bought Call of Duty based on
Not to
Humvees.
mention there's some of us that boycott it because of the fact that you teach your employees like shit too. But, no big deal.
There's a lot of reasons not to eat Papa John's.
But,
There's a lot of reasons not to buy Humvee. You want to know why? Because they're expensive. And who needs that?
And gas hogs.
That's why we have to play Call of Duty, obviously, because the only way we're going to get to drive a Humvee. It's the only reason we play that game.
That's good logic right there. I like the way you think.
That is how the PR people are thinking.
Oh my god.
People play it because the only way they'll get to drive a Humvee is in this game.
Oh.
No.
Thank you for trying to make yourselves relevant again, Hummer. Yeah, it's all good.
Whatever.
Oh,
you people are crackheads. I can't help you. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I realize we're running a little long. Which in my life, this 1 hour has been like 7 hours because I am cracked out.
Good news for Switch fans. Nintendo is planning on increasing the number of Switch systems it makes. So that's pretty awesome.
If you haven't gotten one yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, they're going to adjust depending on how this holiday season goes on, but they're looking to increase production for next year by double, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, well, and I think if the way their games and stuff are coming out promotionally, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to do that. But I think I would have done it before the Christmas season instead of generating demand just before it. Good job. Way to be.
Yeah, but imagine...
Same thing we accuse the movies always of. We don't purposely do this.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I mean...
We know it.
The Switch is going to be a top seller this Christmas, and it's going to be a top seller next Christmas. If they keep the lineup like it's going now, it's going to be a top seller again. I mean, it's going to be like, oh my god, you could bundle it with this game? I don't have one yet.
Well, it's been like the top console since like March is when it came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's been
like the time console.
Well,
at least most
of
of the summer.
One.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty badass myself.
I fucking love it. If you like Nintendo, buy it. I mean,
I get made fun of all the time at my house for playing Golf Story. So,
loser.
Fantastic game. Great storyline so far. So,
I need multiplayer Stardew Valley.
What?
No, we're getting there. We're getting there, right?
We're gonna bring our Switches around each other and be like, hey,
Yeah.
can you come water my plants? Water my
Can you
plants.
come water my
It's
plants?
Farmville. It's Farmville on the Switch. Can you mail me some cows?
You just put the
Oh my
stamps on
God.
their butts and send them.
Smack him and you see
Cows
him run
work.
from one screen to the other.
I was actually I've never played like Animal Crossing, which I'm assuming all the genres very similar to each other.
Yeah.
And Animal Crossing, I think it's Animal Crossing Camp or whatever it is going to be coming to
Mobile.
the phones. Yeah, to the phones.
The moans.
The moans.
Weird. You made it weird.
But what was funny is I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about Animal Crossing, and they said that was the craziest thing ever because of course that particular company is all gaming company anyway. But everybody's sitting there with their 3DSs at work, and you would hear grown adults go over there going, "Hey, do you have pineapples? Can I get some apples?" Like they're just going back and forth with different stuff. That's what that reminded me of. And you're like, "Can you water my plants? I'll be out of town today. Can you help me? Help me chop this tree and go quicker."
God.
You do the trees, I do the rocks. We're good. Do you have a salad I can eat?
Multiplayer dungeoning, since there's dungeons in that game.
There you go. Anything else?
No, I
I'm
think that's
good.
it.
I need to go have more coffee with coffee.
Oh, God.
I do want to start off with the big news first, which instead of doing our Twitter, which normally I do, I am happy to be able to say, make sure you check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Infinite Respawn. Thank you very much for everybody that subscribes. So, and we're so much easier to find now.
Yeah.
The 75 letter numbers that went after before sucked. So, please make sure that you follow us on there now that we're much easier to find. Also, you can check us out on Twitter, as always, at InfiniteResPC. Check me out personally at MDB Oak Tree. You can check out Grif.
At Grif's Lineup.
Check out Chicken.
At EliteChicken313. Or my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. I stream every day now. So you could always...
You had to get it in.
I had to get it in. Now I got two places
you
you can
have
find
to.
me. So you can always drop by the Twitch channel.
I'm there
yeah.
usually.
Yeah. Join in. It's awesome. I got to figure out why my alerts aren't coming through when you come on.
Because if you go to my page, the little green heart, if you're following me, if you click that, click the little arrow that's right next to that and drop down, it'll have notifications on for this person. By default, sometimes it'll turn off, sometimes it'll turn on. Make sure you turn that on however you want.
It's weird because some of mine work and yours doesn't. So
so turn it on if you want to be notified every day when I come on.
What you do?
Yes, you do. He's a fun gamer to watch if you haven't watched him before.
I'm mediocre.
Yeah, normally mainly because he's a good gamer, and so when he fails, it's even funnier.
It's irritating. I come in one flavor and it's salty.
Nicely done.
Oh my God. Keep going. Oh, geez.
Oh, nicely done. So make sure that you also check out our website as well, infiniterespawn.com. Go on there, join the forums, and hang out. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
See ya.
Bye.